Greetings ladies and gentlefish, and welcome back to another subscriber replay. This time I've just got the one game for you in this video, but it is quite a good one. Once again, we join Pansy in his Oh-Ho Tier 8 Japanese heavy tank, and it's worth pointing out at this adventure that Pansy has 2 marks of excellence on his Oh-Ho-Ho-Ho-Ho. Now I get the impression this thing might have been changed since this replay. This replay is a little bit old, it's from patch 1.3. But nonetheless, this should still be vaguely entertaining. Pansy, in case you hadn't noticed by the way, in this game is using the 150mm howitzer, mainly firing high explosive, but he does carry 6 rounds of armor piercing, which pack 121 pen, and 4 rounds of heat, which pack 150 pen. So he's got a little bit of a range of ammo types going on. Now he's here on Mountain Pass, which is not my favourite map in the game, because it generally boils down to kind of 3 corridors. One down the left flank, one down the right flank, and one across the bridge. There's a little bit of a playground, I guess, over in the sort of lakey area, I suppose. But the terrain is so soft there that it's a little bit dubious. Now, you might have noticed Pansy is driving to a slightly odd position on the map. Yeah, let's just see how this one pans out. In fact, actually, what I'm going to do is speed this along a little bit to start off with, because there's a potentially kind of slow start over here. Now, if you have a look at the minimap, you might be able to put together what Pansy's actually doing. You know, I mentioned this is kind of a bit of a corridor map. Well, one of the corridors has been left fairly lightly defended. This is a tier 9 match, by the way. Pansy is not top tier, but one of the corridors is kind of lightly defended down the Glacier Road. And you can see there are 3 tanks on the friendly team. If we just discount artillery for now, there are 3 tanks on the friendly team that are set up to try and do something about the inevitable push of enemy tanks. There we go. You've got Pansy here, you've got his platoon mate, Chaos Raven, in his IS-3, and you have a friendly 45 TP at tier 7. Now Pansy actually gets smacked in the face by that Object 257, which is a little bit awkward. The Oh-Ho thing with this position, the Oh-Ho not renowned for amazing gun depression, and you can see here, Pansy is trying some really quirky positioning to try and get shots over on these guys. Actually hits 2 of them there with the 1 shell. But from here, Pansy can't actually be seen. Now obviously the guys could still blind fire him, but Pansy isn't actually spotted. He is playing a sneaky Oh-Ho tank destroyer. Oh-Ho-Ho-Ho-Ho. But you can see these guys are just getting really worked over. This, I have not seen anyone do this before, I'm gonna be honest. But it is kind of funny. Now there is the possibility that that object might get close enough to proxy spot Pansy, and then he's showing his broadside to some enemy tanks who, well, let's be honest, if you see the broadside of an Oh-Ho, you just take horrible advantage of it. And also at the moment, those enemy tanks are not being spotted anymore. Oh, there we go, there they are, but Pansy unfortunately is still loading. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on, there we go, 256. And actually Pansy's up to 1322 damage at this point. 477 assistance as well for a tracking shot there. Now the Object 257 has advanced sufficiently to be engaging the 45 TP and Chaos Raven here. He's taken a bit of a battering in the process, but 45 TP against an Object 257... that's a pretty one-sided engagement. Then again, the Object 257 at the moment is only being directly backed up by an IS-2. Never mind, forget I mentioned that. He's being backed up by a 50 TP prototype and a T-54, and of course, we've got Pansy and Chaos over here, both in their tier 8 machines. Pansy still retaining his bizarre positioning. But hey, it's working so far. I am not here to judge. And hello, Mr. Object. Little bit of damage onto him. Only 100 and... no, wait. I say a little bit of damage into him. I don't actually think that shot did any damage. I don't think it actually hit. That's a bit unlucky. Oh, Object has fired, and only 224 there into the Object. But that leaves the guy on perilously low health, a high explosive, I can't get my words out, shot from Chaos in the IS-3 would probably finish him off there. And, oh, that was a bit early of a shot there for Pansy, and the artillery lays in a shot as well, and unfortunately Chaos Raven goes to a better place. And that leaves the 50 TP prototype and the T-54 down there. Now we've got friendly artillery, and Panty's over here. Oh, hello! Penetration on these HE rounds is 75. The top of the engine deck on the T-54 is not 75mm thick, so that was a penetrating high explosive round, actually a low damage count if you would believe it. 910 the average damage on these HE rounds when they penetrate. Oh, artillery gets another shot in there. Yeah, that was still going to leave a mark, and oh, was that the bum of a T-54 again? Isn't that a shame? That guy really should have learned the lesson the first time. Oh, I love it when stuff like that happens. Anyway, away in the distance, we have a Jagdtiger. Ooh, big fat scary tier 9. Do you know what's a great leveler? Direct fire artillery. Only 338 damage there, but it leaves the guy on 21, and he should be a relatively easy kill for whoever decides they're going to pick him up. Now the scoreline is actually even, 9 kills apiece, bearing in mind Pansy has done almost 4,000 damage at this point. 2 penetrating HE rounds on a T-54 kind of really add into that. But had Pansy not done that amount of damage over here, then this flank would probably, in fact it would definitely have been completely wrecked. And the friendly team would have a T-54 and an IS-2 and an Object 257 and a 50 TP. All those friendly guys up their backside, and this game would probably already be over in the enemy team's favour. The fact that Pansy and Chaos and the 45 TP and the artillery on this flank were able to hold out and in fact beat back that push of, frankly, statistically superior tanks. Oh, hello, Mr. Jagdtiger, how are you today? The fact that they were able to do that secured the friendly team's backside, stopped them getting enveloped, stopped them from just dying, and, yeah. Oh, there's artillery, that's a shame. 202 damage there. And now Pansy can go on the offensive. The friendly team is actually 1 kill up. And this is an odd game, I'm not going to lie. See, I told you this was a fun one. So, what have we got left? Oh, there goes the friendly T-29. Oh, this game is not in the bag yet. This could still go hideously, hideously wrong, of course. But, you know, we'll see, I guess. So, if we actually just have a look around for a moment, we've got the Conway, the SU, and the Object all on perilously low health. In fact, the Object might be able to survive a shot from, like, the 45 TP or something, but that's about it. And even enemy artillery is trying to get stuck into the action, which is unusual. SU-101 finishes off the SU-130 PM, which means the enemy team have just pushed ahead again. And this is the problem with your slow tanks. You've won your flank. That's brilliant. So now what? You're often not fast enough to get yourself into an effective combat position, either because the game is over, one way or another, and so Pansy's going back to the cap. Like, if he goes out toward where the Conway is, or where the Object is, then he runs the very real risk of just getting ripped apart by that SU-101. And we don't know where that 45 TP is. He could quite well, look at where he was last spotted, down in that sort of rivery area. He could quite well be coming up behind these guys. So actually, going over to where that Conway and the Object is not necessarily a good idea, and as it turns out, Pansy was right to be worried about that 45 TP. And this is the thing, you sometimes get people complain about you, like, oh, why aren't you doing X, Y, Z? But have you actually looked at the map? I've had this before as well. I'm not as good a player as Pansy is, but I have had a similar experience. Of course, he's firing gold. Where someone will go, oh, why aren't you doing this, or why are you there? Well, it's like, well, look at the map, mate. Have you noticed where the enemy are, or where they appear to not be? Oh, that was a nice kill, because that guy slinging gold was consistently putting shots through the front of Pansy's Oh-Ho. 45 TP is now dead, but so is the friendly object 430. And again, if Pansy goes over to directly try and help that Conway, there's the very real risk that he's just going to get nailed in the side by the Su-101. We don't know where that guy still is. And actually, the Conway's now dead. Artillery lands a shot on him and ends his sojourn. So now, Pansy is all alone against 3 enemy tanks, one of which is artillery. He's done 4,000 damage at this point and got 4 kills. So what's he gonna do? Well, he doesn't have many options, because the Oh-Ho, for all the things that it is, isn't a flexible tank. And so that's awkward. So, Pansy is essentially going to defend the capture circle. The enemy team are almost certainly going to push on him in some capacity or other. And there's only 3 or so minutes left on this game. Now, the fact that the artillery is still alive is also a little awkward. This is not the best artillery map, just for the record, but where Pansy is, hopefully he should be relatively well protected from that guy. And what the enemy team really need to do here is group up and come all at once. That sounds weird, but you know what I mean. Like, Pansy is on 372 health. One shot from the SU should do the job. Depending on the gun that he's using, maybe one shot from the Oh-Ho. One shot from the artillery probably wouldn't do it, but he would at least do some damage, stun Pansy, etc. So, what are we gonna do? Oh, there's the Oh-Ho, 256 into him. What's the Oh-Ho gonna do in return? And neither of these tanks have particularly good gun depression. Oh, 173 into him, but there's the SU. That has to be our priority. Pansy gets a little lucky there that the SU wasn't able to take a shot. Su-101 gets terrible gun depression. And he's still alive. 199 health left though. Oh, 188 damage from the Oh-Ho, who really shouldn't be showing his side armor like that. And Pansy's able to finish him off with 224 damage. If the Oh-Ho had shown the front of his armor to Pansy, then he may well have been able to, well, take that hit and then kill him. But as it is, in his haste to get away, he showed Pansy his side armor, and here comes the artillery. The artillery really doesn't have very many options here. We've only got 1 minute and 35 left on this game. Neither of these guys have a huge number of options, but Pansy probably just has the advantage, manages to try and find a shot on the guy's gun shield, and there it is. That is the match. So, let's go and have a look at the post-game stats. I'm not going to lie, that is one of the most singularly unusual games I have ever seen of World of Tanks. Yeah, that was just weird for so many different reasons. Perhaps unsurprisingly, that was an ace tanker for Pansy there. Hand of God, Bruiser, Fire for Effect, and Duelist. I can remember the name of the medals. High Caliber, and a Top Gun. 4,803 damage done in the end, 7 kills, 1,691 base experience, last person standing on either team. Shoutouts should also probably go to the Oh-Ho on the enemy team, Nwalix8 for almost 3,000 damage, the Su-101 on the enemy team for 2,500 damage, the M4043 for 2,200 damage in a friggin' artillery piece. And on the friendly team, we've got the Su-130PM with 3,000 damage, the Object 430 with 2.7k damage, and so on. There were a number of players on either team who put in a good contribution, and can we all just spend a moment to commiserate GLC-12 in the T-54? He received 2 hits all game. Both of those hits, however, were 15cm high explosive rounds to his bum, which means they both penetrated and he died. To be fair, he took a little bit of splash from artillery as well, but please, can we just pay a moment to give our respects to GLC-12. Anyway, now that's done with. That was just a bonkers game. 21 shots fired, which you don't see every day with a howitzer, 15 hits, 3 pens, and 14 splash damage. For that damage count, most of which was from pretty close range. 7 hits received, 3 penetrated, 2 did not. The armour really didn't hold up very well that game. People were slinging a bit of gold around, and he wasn't top tier, to be fair. 1 enemy tank spotted, 9 damage, 7 destroyed, 590 assistance damage, 68 base defence points, 2.28 kilometres travelled. With the standard account, that was a 20,000 credit profit, because Pansy did not fire any premium ammunition. That was all good old-fashioned, high calibre, high explosive. I was just bonkers. There we go. There's my game for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please feel free to catch some of my other videos and or subscribe to my channel, and there's probably various thingamabobbies popping up on the screen for you to click on and explore if you wish. And I wish you very happy hunting on that battlefield as ever, ladies and gents. Ciao, ciao.